Good day and welcome to MTVZ Production, Batobastrata. I am your host, Tjovitjo from Khuma Extension 8 MTVZ Production. Welcome and please introduce yourself to our viewers.
MTVZ, like the Batobastrata.
Okay, Mr. Vincent Moloi, can you briefly explain the whole thing at Khuma Film Festival and why you are involved in this?
Khuma Film Festival, film festival. It's a homegrown film festival that's looking at localizing the way we shape how we want our future film industry to be like. Because now to have to face and to show up for answer another or what to tuna ere legal there's no better place than what Khuma Film Festival is doing, because it speaks to my core as a person who Adam Ofanaga Keleto, Ele Motoro Lena, Upilombaka Keleto, Kisel Sonaga Jane, because of Keleto Zig, Lumelare, Seraseta Mona, has the answer to Alimona Feda, Santa Lebona, MTVZ, Lilona has the Mona recorder G, Lentelevale. Inspiration of furthering your platform, of doing bigger things, of connecting, of dreaming, because sometimes it's not about how brilliant you are, it's about how that little information you can take and what you can do about it. So,
okay, Mr. Vincent. Since we are going to Khuma, why not explain Mr. Vincent Mr. Vincent
Hey, mananaki Soweto, Kwatwa, Daum, Cape Town, which is the beauty of it is that's what makes who Vincent Moloi is. But at the core of it, it's not the places that makes you who you are. It's what are your inspirations, what are your dreams. And those things are what shapes you, because how about television, what was the film, directed the film, produced the film, it's the same, but so that in turn shapes you and your character, because you have to be tough to get into this industry. You have to be able to take rejections. You have to accept that sometimes you will fail. You have to accept that sometimes you will succeed. You have to accept that sometimes you are not as great as you thought you are. And those things sometimes can depress you. But it's not the falling, it's not the stumbling that's gonna make you. It's the determination to get up and do it again. So that's what makes who I am. It's because I was better at getting up. I probably fell more times than most of my peers, but I always get up.
So, in your journey of growing up, maybe one of the directors that is so in Africa or South Africa. Or we only chase a dream fellows are understanding where you're going.
I didn't even know that I wanted to be a filmmaker. I knew that I wanted to say something about my community. The film, you must remember, I'm a little bit of a crocodile. I'm a dinosaur. So when we came into the industry, we had no point of references. So I wanted to bana ba bangata ba tla gore ke ile ka bona ntate Vincent Moloi a le kae kae ke ile ka bona a etsa ntho e tjena le tjena le tjena bona nna se ka ntho tsa go dira bona mang a etsa ntho tse o no lo fela nna ne ke batla go bua ka story sa community ya ke batla go botsa le story sa ka bona. And then I realized, I can't write, I can't talk. And I said, maybe what the best thing to do is that if I become a filmmaker, because I don't have to appear, I don't have to talk, I don't have to write. Little did I know that even in the film industry, not only behind the scene, you still have to write, you still have to talk, because you have to convince people about your idea. So that's part of it. But I was bitten by the love of film. I get right when TV until 2 a.m. in the morning. Because that's how much I love TV, and I realized, maybe that's the best place for me to go into it, because I love it. Sometimes we do stuff because we were told to do it, not because there's passion. So, this is the best way to do it.
So, in the field of entertainment industry, I know the obstacles still and then. So, the most difficult obstacle in my face.
I think the movie just finished. You're gonna have a problem.
The most difficult challenge in my face in the film industry. Or in a episode of director, that was the most difficult for comply alone.
I don't have a particular event or episode that was difficult. I think because I'm an outwardly looking person, I don't like to look back. So I'm looking forward to the next challenge after the next. One thing that I've accepted is that there will always be a challenge in this industry. So once I've gone over this challenge, I'm like, okay, I have to do something else. I want to get it and I get ready mentally, get ready emotionally. I might not be ready physically, but the best way to deal with it is to find solution how best you can. Because sometimes the solutions are not the greatest, but however, if you know you've done the best that you can to solve that problem, it's all you need, even if you fail. So one thing I really have to emphasize, you must not see failure in a negative term. We must look at failure as part of the learning curve. So failure becomes part of your being, of your life, of the way you put it that day. So once you've accepted that, you know that after failure, you have to get up. With each failure, the best way to win over failure is to get up. It's allowed you don't sit back and say, because I can do prayer at home. So how handle it? How handle you? We saw but what is important about that lesson is that the first one rejected you, the second one rejected you, the third one rejected you, but then you found the one that accepted you. And that's life. In life, we have to keep trying.
So in terms of your directing movie or bioscope or episode, if you feel like this one, I made it.
Yeah, it's I'll be honest with you, I don't like to compare the stuff that I've done, but the first episode, Tjovitjo, the opening scene, I don't think I've done anything better than that. If people go on YouTube and watch the opening scene of the first episode of Tjovitjo, it's something that I think is lots of layers in that opening. It's the most beautiful thing that I've ever done in my film career, and I'm hoping for more like it. Yeah.
Since when you guys came here, kasi la rona, kasi just everyone I had discuss except you guys. Thank you so much. This thing, according to you, it will benefit the whole community of Khuma.
So you're asking me a question if this, what we are doing at the moment, will benefit the community of Khuma. Let me tell you something. Where I live at the moment, I live in a village in Damun, it's more dusty than this. It's up to the people of Khuma what they decide. For this thing to work, it's up to the people. After that, it's up to the people of this place. What do they do with that knowledge?
I think in the opening session here this thing, you have identified one of the learners. I don't know what Tjovitjo, right?
Yeah.
So what's your plan about that plan?
Look, I've identified a young man, to mentor, because as a young man, I didn't think I had. When I was growing up, I could have been better than what I was. I've made lots of mistakes, and I wouldn't want another person to make those mistakes. So when I see a young man with aspiration, with dreams, I feel the need to help him. So my plan is to guide him, expose him to things that he would otherwise never be exposed to. And it's simple things. It's to take him on a journey, on a trip with me when I go shoot, or when I go have a meeting, or when I hang around with some of my actors' friends, so that as long as he's around the place, when he's written something, he knows he can call someone and says, hey, Vincent, I've written this, could you please check it and see if it's good or not? And then I can give him guidance on it. But it's not just only him, it's also another person, a young lady, again. So it's two people, it's Lewahan, actually, that's a name. So it's Kilewa, Lewahan, that I'm going to mentor. And the reason I loved her is because I think she's got a great mind, and I think she's talented, and I like to see young people with talent live up to what they desire.
Since we're growing up in a generation of GBV saga, you guys came with Khuma Film Festival. On that particular note, I was able to resolve some of the issues such as drugs and whatsoever, the substances that...
Yeah, again, Khuma Film Festival is not going to solve anything. It's the people of Khuma who will solve stuff. What Khuma Film Festival will show light and will guide with information, but it's up to the people what they do with that information. So the responsibility, the honors, it's on those that receive the information, what they do with it. Obviously, giving an opportunity to young people to see that there is light somewhere else, and not just in drugs, and not just in criminality, because at the moment, it feels like because they are surrounded by places where there's a lot of those negative things, they tend to think maybe that's the way life should be. But what Khuma does, it says no, that's not how life should be. There's also other opportunities. There's also Tila Ejina, Elegai Natella, Ebitirona Lelibona.
So, since Khuma Film Festival started last year, why did you for target the whole instead of the whole community? Such as maybe the cultural...
that we target the schools because that's where young people are. And it's important that they are exposed to the industry at that age, because there's nothing as beautiful to see a young person grow up with knowledge and information that becomes his tools to shape the future. Me and my colleagues don't have a lot of time on this earth, but the young people still got life. This is going to be their world, so we need to empower them so that they can shape their world.
So, the message from you to the youth.
I find it so difficult to give messages, but I suppose I would say, love yourself, believe in yourself, and follow your dream. You only but have yourself to convince that you are great, and you don't have to convince other people. You owe it to yourself to be a better person. You owe it to yourself to succeed. You owe it to yourself to be what you want to be. It's important that you know that, because then you can keep yourself in check. You can say, how I think it, you're not going to blame another person. You're going to say, nah, I get that nah, I get assignment about feeling your. So when you don't succeed later, Oscar blame about I'm feeling information, get another interact on it.
Our viewers but was started as a boom.
But was started NTVZ. I see you as beautiful human beings. I hope you remain beautiful. Please keep watching. Please keep supporting. Let's make films and tell our stories.